Welcome to the world premiere of the brand new Fjord 39 XL. Now, it's fair to say that Fjord pretty much invented the market for these really stylish, modern, open day boats. Every bay in Mallorca, you'll find one or two of their models parked up there. But they've put everything they've learned over the past 10 years or so into this new model, the 39 XL. Now, prices for this start at 459,000 euros, but realistically, by the time you've kitted it up, I'm told it's going to be around about 650,000. I'm going to show you every single detail and explain what makes this different to any of its previous models. Now, starting at the stern here, we've got a high-low passerelle, and that means when you berth stern to the quay like this, it comes all the way up, but also it'll drop down into the water to create a really nice, gentle staircase into the sea. Makes it very easy to get in and out. And it's here in Mallorca where you're constantly jumping in and out of the water, it's the absolute ideal solution. Now, reasonable sized bathing platform here. This is not hydraulic, it would just add too much weight and expense to the boat, so they kept it simple, but obviously you could put a small tender on here if you wanted to. Now, the really big news is this huge full width sunshade. So it's a hard top, it's open, but it is fixed and it comes all the way out to the side. On previous iterations, they started off with a much smaller one, but here in Mallorca, where the sun is beating down all day long, you want maximum shade. But it's lovely and airy, but it just avoids you having the full glare of the sun. We've got an electric extension out here, so you can see from here on in, it's a fabric extended shade. Here forwards, it's all solid. Now, the other big gain over the previous 38 model is that you get a separate dining area and sun pad. Previously, you had to convert the dinette in order to create a sun pad, but here you've got a full-length sun pad and a really big dining station. You can see easily sit 8 alongs, well, 8, 4 on each side, 8 in very good comfort. You could probably have 10 on there, no problem. All of these backrests swing. Really important this, because obviously in terms of the sunbed, once you swing those over, you then get a full-length sunbed here, and on these ones here, so when you're obviously dining, it's nice and sociable to face that way, but when you're underway in the boat, it's much nicer to sit facing forward. So really clever that you can have everyone facing forward, or you can have a much more sociable dining arrangement. Some really nice details on this sunbed too. Got big bottle holders or cup holders, pop-up lights on either side, nice bit of teak there. And the other thing to notice is that we have got an electric lifter for the sunbed. So if I press that button there, you can see the back of their sunbed hinges up, and that is to provide access to a storage locker under here. Really good size, big enough, crucially, to take a couple of sea bobs. Everybody uses sea bobs here, in and out the water the whole time. Perfect size, and I think you can get a charging point in there too if you want to. Also plenty of storage for covers and carbon poles for a forward sun awning if you want one too. Just pop that down. There we go. Now, moving forward from here, other thing to point out, really easy boat to move around. You've got good handrails inboard everywhere you look, really good high bulwarks, so no need for guardrails. These come up to hip height on me. Here's those full width supports for that hard top, very nice and secure. And then a big galley area here. Now, this is up for grabs as to how you fit it out. You can have a grill in here, you can have a barbecue, you can have an induction hob, got a sink on this one, and of course a fridge under there, but that is one of just many fridges. I'll point out a few more in a second. Plenty of storage under here, so this is where your cutlery and glasses and so on would go. They're not fitted on board at the moment, but it's all about living life at sea on a day boat, so plenty of space for all the kit, all your food, etc. Now, I said I'd point out some other fridges. You can see either side of this, we've got one drawer fridge there, and I believe there is another one over on the other side. We come over here, there absolutely is. So you've got 3 fridges within about a couple of meters. So wherever you are on board the boat, you don't even have to get up to grab yourself a cold beer. You just lean over, open the drawer, and there's one right there. Now, a few other things to point out whilst we're here. These special storage lockers here, you can see we've got a steel retainer, and that is to house all the fenders. So they have special square-shaped fenders. You can see one here, and the whole idea of that is that they pull out, slot straight in there, and you can store them very neatly on board the boat without getting in anybody's way. Is a full walk-around design, still least hip height, these bulwarks here, draining decks, lovely teak underfoot. It's such an easy boat to move around. Another big sunbed up here. Some nice detailing here too. Just little things like that teak armrest, stainless steel support, looks really good. And quite cleverly, they've recessed it a little bit below the height of the bulwark. So provides a bit of protection from the wind, provides a bit of privacy, means you can sunbathe topless, whatever it is you want to do, and you've still got a certain amount of privacy. These are the where the feet for the sun awning goes. I showed you those in the aft storage locker. Those poles slot in there, and then you can have another sun awning over this part of the boat. More of those lovely pop-up lights either side here. Very cool. If you're staying out at night, have a little bit of subtle illumination. We've got controls for the anchor here, just an anchor release, anchor up, anchor down. It's not a complicated sort of hinged mechanism. The anchor does sit there full time, but because it's on quite a long extension, you can drop that without being in danger of scratching the bow of the boat. It's a big anchor locker here too. So if you want to keep some bigger ball fenders or whatever, plenty of space for them in there. A smart stainless steel chain, I always like to see that. I know sometimes people say that a conventional steel chain or galvanized chain is better, but they sure look good in stainless steel. And then walk back into the cockpit area here. Lots of underdeck storage and so on under here. If we lift that up, you can see there's a really good technical space in there. So that extends all the way under the deck. And obviously you can fit your own baskets or racking or whatever you want to under there, as well as have access to all the electrics. Close that up. More storage under all the seats here. Nothing particularly clever or fancy, but always good to have. And 3 really good helm seats. Got drop-down armrests, bolsters, reasonably stiff, but feels good and solid. So you've got 2 kind of twins there, and then a little bit of space, and then an extra seat here. Very nice, clean helm design, twin Simrad screens. Now in terms of engine power, you've got a choice. You can have inboard or outboard. This one is fitted with IPS engines. This has the 440 horsepower engines and is good for around about 43 knots, I believe. You can also have outboards if you want. So if you want to go for twin outboards, you can get up to around 46 knots, I believe, if you go for twin 400s. Now these throttles here, they've decided they are going to move the position of these because they're a little bit low in relation to the wheel. So they're going to move the throttles up onto this part of the dashboard and then shift that joystick over here just to give slightly more natural ergonomics. Got a tilt adjustable steering wheel, Volvo engine data screen, and then twin Simrad touchscreen MFDs. Now, although this is a day boat, they do always like to have some accommodation, and quite cleverly what they've done here is maximize it as a kind of day sleep space. Very few people stay on it overnight, but lots of people want to get out of the sun, have a bit of kit during the daytime. So they've kept it very light, very open plan, but also very stylish. Now they put little windows in this deck moulding here so it stays nice and light. We've got full colour LEDs. All of those can be adjusted up here. You can change if you want to change the colour of those. You can go green or yellow or blue or red, whatever you like. Bit gimmicky, but quite fun. Bit of extra storage space in here. Now I believe there is yet another fridge. Clearly 3 fridges is not enough, so you've got to have one down here too. That's the 4th. Seems that you cannot have enough fridges on board a day boat, but that kind of makes sense too. More big hull windows here. It's a really nice open plan space. I don't know if it comes across on camera, but it feels very bright and airy. And often on a sort of hot boat, the last thing you want to do is get down below. It all feels a bit stuffy and cramped. This one really doesn't. Lots of different options here. You can change the color of this little retainer here, so you can have that done in whatever color you like. But personally, I think this really nice bright white color scheme works really well. There's a bit of extra storage in here, a bit more under there. Grab handle, just so that if you're moving around at sea, there's always something to hang on to. And then the heads compartment. Again, all color control LEDs if you want to. They've kept that window, but this one is frosted, so maintains privacy. We've got a watertight closure so that you can have a bit of fresh air in here. There's another skylight up there and a separate shower compartment. Not the largest I've ever seen and doesn't come full height, but it does just mean that you can have a shower in there without the water coming out into the heads area. Toilet over on this side, small sink, bit of storage under there. Very fit for purpose, but I love the fact that it's just so clean, so light, so airy, not overcomplicated. And crucially, the actual door they've used for this sliding section, let's see if I can do that one-handed. Oh, I think we've got a lock in place, but oh, there it is, it's up there. So now let's see if I can do that. Pull it across. So that is clear perspex too. So even when you're shut up down there, you've still got this lovely clear glass letting in plenty of natural light. Now, one other thing to point out, this screen here, you can have it full height. On this one, because it's in a really hot country, they like to have that kind of wind in their hair feeling, but you can have a full height glass screen to provide yet more protection. Right, that just leaves the engine bay, and I need to find access for that. I have just remembered where access to the engine bay is, and it is under these benches. So you can see we've got little clasps there. You can lift that up like so. Let's see if we can do the same for the other one. So that is just a storage area, ideal for putting probably life jackets or something relatively shallow. There's not a lot of depth there, but quite handy to have an outdoor storage place too. And then we drop down into the engine bay. Now clearly, if you go for the outboard model, this is just a huge storage area, but with the inboard model, you can see here are the 2 Volvo IPS D6 engines. Now, it's got to be said, there is not a lot of headroom down here. I'm having to lean right back. Now, you can access this if you need to get the engines out. You can create an opening there to lift them out. But in the meantime, these are relatively tight, not the easiest things to get to. You can get to the oil sticks and so on there. Batteries over here, got vents over there. And very wisely, the fuel filters they have put on this bulkhead here. So those are nice and easy to get to. Obviously, one of the crucial things you need to keep an eye on. So it's good to know that at least you can get to the important stuff nice and quickly. Right. Let's make our way back out. Here we go. Emerging from one of the benches. Let's just close those up. Good to see they're on gas strut supports. Makes it a little bit easier to do one-handed, provides some assistance and holds them up in place. Now, I didn't point out, but I'm sure you can see these all fold up, and likewise this section here, if you want to create a bit more room around, all those tables fold up, and then you've got cup holders in here. So it just provides a little bit more space and yet more ease of movement around the boat. Okay, that is the new Fjord 39 XL. For the kind of day boating that people tend to do here in Mallorca, it looks absolutely perfect. I hope you've enjoyed a quick look round. It is from the originators of this modern day boat look. It looks as stylish as ever, but is yet more practical and with even more features. Thank you very much for watching this quick tour. I do appreciate your time, and I look forward to catching you on the next one.